Have you ever been racing your favorite car and then suddenly you feel crippling understeer? Well, if so, then this video is for you. First though, we have to ask the question, what is understeer? Understeer is when you go to enter a corner and the front wheels don't steer. Understeer can be a result of many factors, but we're not here to find out what causes it, we're here to fix it. So, if we don't want understeer, then what do we want? Well, that would be oversteer. So you might ask, what is oversteer? Oversteer is when you enter a corner and the rear of the car slips out. This is usually more common with rear-wheel drive cars, but can also happen to all-wheel drive cars. And here you could ask a very good question. Why? There are many reasons why we want oversteer, whether it's a lot or a little. But the main reason is
oversteer is best because you don't see the tree that kills you.
Because unlike understeer, we can control oversteer. Which brings me to how to fix understeer. Now we'll first show you a run I did in the car with no tuning. And now I'll show you the run with my tuning. Try to spot the difference in handling. If you didn't spot the difference, I don't blame you. It's very subtle. But what is happening is I'm not having to fight understeer actually. You can see in many of the turns, the back end kind of wants to kick out a little, and in some corners, I don't end up going out wide. Now, I know what you all are thinking. Just stop with the whatever you're doing, I don't even know myself, and show us what you did. So, it's very simple. I watched a video a while back about tuning, and it showed a bunch of very interesting stuff. You should go watch it. I'll try to link it down in the description. But basically, it said put negative toe in the front and to help you turn in better into corners, and put positive toe in the rear to help with stability. Now, that's what I did originally. But thinking back on it recently, I thought, hey, what I don't want is the rear stability. I want the rear to kick out. So what did I do? Well, I went and put minus 40% toe in the rear. This points the rear wheel outwards. And this means that if you're in a slide, the rear wheel is trying to pull you in a slide, and or for example, if you're in the slide, sliding sideways to the left rear wheel wants to pull you into the slide, and the right rear wheel is at a much worse angle and has less traction than if it was aiming straight. At least that's what I think, but at least the runs show it. Now, to further demonstrate this, since this does have a race center diff and is sending 75% of the power to the rear, so it isn't very much of a fair comparison, I prepared 2 runs with this car. That is just the standard 2.0 GTI manual car with 3 modifications. I modified the gearbox to be race sequential. It actually has shorter gear than my own car, but it doesn't really matter. And I modified the power by modifying the exhaust and the block and some stuff to get the same power output I had on that car. I then drove a run just like that, and then drove one where I tuned it my way, and you're now going to see those 2 runs. So that last run might have been slightly misleading, but still within the premise of this video, which is tuning out understeer without using any race parts. What did I tune? Well, of course, the 2 settings I talked about very severely, considering this only has a vicious all-wheel drive center diff, which isn't very good. So I had to very severely adjust these alignments and adjust the front tire pressure down from the normal default 30 to 20. But all of these settings are available without doing any modification to the suspension. You can have stock parts and you will have access to this tuning. I think. I know sometimes you don't have access to this, or is it... I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure most of the time you have access to this. At least on sports suspension you do. So, as you saw, the difference is kind of big, I would say. There isn't any overrunning. Now, do tune this to your preference. Honestly, I'd be tempted to go even more beyond this, considering I really like when the cars oversteer and I'd like to have no understeer at all, and some people prefer to have stability. The real trade-off here for this tuning, which is the disclaimer I have to put, is this does require you to be a better driver. Because driving like this does what I described before. Removes this rear stability. What does this mean? Well, it means you'll have beautiful slides like this where you can take the corner almost perfectly and beautifully, but if you just give it a little kick, it'll slide out dramatically. Which does mean, like I said, you'll have to be a better driver. So, if you're struggling with understeer, you can put a little bit of out toe in the rear, and especially in the front. The front does not affect stability too much, but putting a severe amount of rear toe on your car, I would recommend only for those who are confident in their driving abilities, like I am. And that corner is exactly the reason why I would be tempted to go further, and this corner as well, because when it's off the throttle, it tends to understeer, as the engine is in the front, and so the weight is all at the front. But yeah, that's it. See ya.